Hi, welcome to Android app development. In our previous module, we learned about the environment setup for development. In this module, we will learn about the anatomy of Android project. To start with, let me start Android Studio first. So our Android Studio is starting. Now here, just create a new project. Now on this new project screen, let me explain a little bit about few things here. So at the top here you see this application name. This application name is the name which will be shown to users on your Google Play Store. This module name will be the name which will come at the top of your IDE, whether it's Eclipse or Android Studio. Package name is the package namespace for your app. Your package name must be unique across all packages installed on the Android system. If you choose some package name which are already present on your Android devices, then you may face some issues. So the thumb rule is that always make sure that your package name should be unique, and the tradition followed on the Android Studio and on the Eclipse is use the reverse domain name with your app name. And this project location is the location on where our project will be stored on your hard disk. And this minimum required SDK version, it is the minimum required SDK is the lowest version of Android that your app supports. So if you see, the minimum API level is 8, and the targeted SDK is the latest API 19. So this is the Android 4.4. So always choose the highest available targeted API version so that you can avail the latest features. And compile with shows that against which API level your project is compiled or your app is compiled. So always keep it at the latest, but you can always change it if you want to. The language level shows that which Java language we support, and you can change it here as well. And based on your language level, you can avail the additional feature that the language level provides, or this language level provides. Themes are basically, there are like the one default we'll use is HoloLight and Dark Action Bar. There are some other themes you can use it. I will not go in detail here. Here, these are few tick marks. You can see create custom, icon launch, create activity. If you don't select them, so you don't select a custom icon mark, so you won't get an option to do this. And if you don't do this, the blank project will be created. And here are some supported mode which we will talk about in our later session. So let's go to the next page. I am keeping everything as it is, simple, just to keep it simple. Before I move to the next page, let me talk a little bit about the API level which you can use to target the maximum audience. So if you go to developer.android.com, and at the bottom if you see about Android and go to the dashboard here, if you see here, against each version what is the distribution percentage is available. Google actively monitor this data and it keeps updating this page. So here if you see, the maximum market share is acquired by the Jelly Bean, but you can, if you want to target the lower version as well, you can do that. So that is all about the API level version. And now let's go to the next page. So here if you see, here the foreground, it says image, clipboard, text. We'll keep it image here, and this is the location of our image. And here some other options are there. So you can say like shape, so you can select the shape of this image as a square or the circle, and you can select some background color here. Let me just to demonstrate this, let me just select some, let's say yellow color. So you see our app, our icon background is little bit of yellow. Actually I don't like it, So let me do a little bit of green. Oh, anyways, let's move on. So this is it. You can change the shape to square and none, right? And crop, or you can make your image center or crop. So let's move to the next page. Here, either you can select a blank activity, full screen activity, or master detail flow. We'll talk about all of these in detail in our later session. Let's go to the next screen. Here, your activity name is a main activity. You can change it anyways if you want to. Your layout name and your fragment name. We'll talk about all of these in detail in our this session only. And here, the additional feature that you can select with each activity here is either a swipe view, action bar tab, navigation drawer, action bar spinner. We'll talk about all of this in our later session. So now what you have to do is just, you have created your simple project. Now let's just do the finish. Now you can see that our project is open in the Android Studio. So here I have already opened the Project Explorer. What you need to do is press Alt 1, just click on this and press Alt 1. You will be able to open the Project Explorer. Now here, if you see under the app, our entire project is here. So here app is our project name which we have chosen, and my application is our application name which we have chosen, right? So under here, if you see, there are a couple of folders. Our area of interest lie in the source folder. So in the source folder, if you see, there is a main folder, and then there is, under the main folder, there is a Java folder where all your Java files will be present. There is a resource folder where all your resources will be present. Your resources are like your images that you use in your project. Resources, images will be like your icons, menu bar icons, something like that. And resources also contains layout and the menus. So if you see, if I open this, so there are a bunch of folders here. There are drawables which are for the images. So if you see these drawable folders, these are for the different resolutions, and for each resolution, if you see, there is one image here, and based on the device on which your app will run, Android will automatically select the particular image from this folder. What you have to do is you have to just add those images in this folder. And if you see in the layout, here is our layout page, which is we created for our blank activity that we created, our activity underscore main. This is nothing but XML file, and this is called a layout here. And here in the menu, we have one main menu as well over here. So everything which is related to menu will go into the menu folder. Everything related to the layout will go to the layout folder. And the values here are like your resources, which are like suppose your app is using some strings which you want to localize. Those values you can keep in the string here, and for each language you can create this string.xml, and those value will be localized here. And here the style is for the styling, and the dimension is for the dimensions. Right now there is a, the dimension is used is horizontal margin is used 16 dp and vertical margin is used 16 dp. And there is one more file is Android manifest. Android manifest file is a very important file, and we'll talk more about this in our subsequent modules. So now one more important thing is our Java folder. So inside Java folder, if you see, there is a hierarchy com.example.myapplication.app. Actually this is the same hierarchy by which you have selected your package name. So if you see here, let me show this in Show in Explorer. So if you see here, this you selected your package name will be like com.example.myapplication.app, and in the similar hierarchy, Android Studio has created the folder for your Java files, and this is mandatory and it is automatically done by Android Studio, so you don't have to worry. Just make sure this is always there. So that's all about our project. Now we will learn about how to create different devices on emulator. So let's create our emulator. To create our emulator, we need to go to this small symbol here, click on this symbol. If you see on the Android virtual devices, I have already created one device. Let's go to the device definition, select the first entry here, Galaxy Nexus by Google, and create AVD. Let's keep everything by default. Select the skin as skin with the dynamic hardware control, and RAM size, let's keep it around 600. Keep the internal storage memory, let's say 20 MB, and I am changing this name here because I already have one device with the same name, and now just say click OK. Now it's asking for confirmation, saying that this is the configuration you have selected. I'll say OK, and now my device is created. If you see here the name, there is a first device which I have already created, and now this one we have created. Now let me just start this. It will take some time. Once this is done, you will see something like this. This is our emulator running. Now what we'll do is, we'll run our app. Now to launch our app, what you have to do is, click on this. Either you run your app or debug your app. Let's just debug our app. Now if you see, Android Studio is asking for emulator to select. We'll select this emulator. We'll say OK. Now you can see that our application is installed successfully on the AVD, and it is launched successfully. So you can see this is a default empty template that we have created when we were creating our application. With this, we are done with a project anatomy and creating a simple template app. In the next module, we will create an app which will take user's input like his first name and the last name, and we will display the same on the app as well as with the toast. I hope you enjoyed this module. Thanks a lot for watching, and stay tuned for next module.